Morning has come, arise and greet the day. Dance with joy and sing a song of gladness. The light of hope it shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. A new day dawns, once more the gift is given. Wonder fills this moment shared together. The light of peace it shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. Open our eyes to see that life abounds. Open hearts to welcome it among us. The light of love it shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home.
Good morning and welcome to Live Oak Unitarian Universalist Church, where our mission is to embrace joy, enrich connections, encourage growth, and empower dreams. If this is your first time joining us, a special welcome to you. After the service, we have sort of an online visitors table set up. If you go to our website, liveoakuu.org, you'll see a link that says just for visitors. That's going to take you to a Zoom room. There will be a couple of our members who are in there who can answer any questions that you might have. Also at liveoakuu.org, you'll see a place where if you simply want more information, want us to email you, you can click on that and give us your name and email address. And then for everyone, we have a weekly email newsletter. If you subscribe to that, you're going to know about everything that is happening here at Live Oak. It is tradition in Unitarian Universalist congregations to light a chalice at the beginning of our services. And so if you have a candle or a chalice near you, I invite you to draw it towards you as we all light our chalices together.
Sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. a song of love, a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and rose in the winter time.
Good morning. My name is Carrie Krause. I'm the Director of Lifespan Faith Development at Live Oak. Thank you for joining us this morning. Today's big idea is What Can a Citizen Do? Written by Dave Eggers and illustrated by Sean Harris. What can a citizen do? What can a citizen be? A citizen is just like you. A citizen can plant a tree. A citizen can help a neighbor. A citizen can join a cause. A citizen can write a letter. A citizen can help change laws. A citizen can right a wrong. A citizen can turn things round. A citizen can get things right side that have been upside down. A citizen should be engaged. A citizen should care and care. A citizen should build things, save things. A citizen can be a bear. Yes, a citizen can be a bear. A citizen can be a kid. A citizen can wear pink pants. A citizen cannot stay hid. A citizen's not what you are. A citizen is what you do. A citizen cannot forget the world is more than you. We're part of a society, one full of joy and pain. A land of latticed people, none of us the same. And if we help just one, help one lonely soul, we open doors, we bring in light, we bind us all and make us whole. So forget yourself for a second. Grab a shovel or a pen. Do something for another. Don't you dare doubt that you can. Everything makes an impact on a bigger big than you. And it all starts with a question. What can a citizen do?
even if you are not a self-admitted sci-fi geek, you're probably familiar with a line that has come into the larger culture, and that is, resistance is futile, you will be assimilated. This comes to us through Star Trek, and it was voiced by the many that made up the Borg. The Borg were something and are something to be scared of. They were made up of all of these different creatures, whatever kind of creature you were born as, human or Vulcan or Klingon, except that you had been assimilated and robotic parts added to you and added into your mind so that you were now part of a hive mind. They were one of the scariest ones because what happened when you were assimilated was that all of the things that you knew, all of your skills, all your knowledge, all of your experiences were effectively uploaded into a hive mind, and every bit of your individuality, your personality, your preferences, what you wanted, all of those were completely stripped away. And so it was a fate worse than death, because not only would you lose who you were, but then every skill and every bit of knowledge that you had and your actual body could be used to do evil. It is a warning against the perils of collectivism gone to the most extreme. And yet, here in the United States, what I worry about is that we have taken the exact opposite of collectivism, individualism, and we have made something just as nightmarish. Hyper-individualism has now been elevated to where it is literally deadly. The rights of the individual have long been a part of the ethos of the United States. We teach it even to our children in elementary school. If you talk to practically any child in elementary school who has not been exposed to the idea that American exceptionalism can also be a negative concept. But if you just talk to a regular elementary age child and ask them what is the greatest country in the world, most likely they're going to say the United States or America, but they mean the United States of America. And then if you ask them why is the USA the best, invariably they are going to say freedom. That's what we teach our children. That's what we celebrate. It's in our songs, right? I'm proud to be an American because at least I know I'm free. But freedom from what? And freedom for whom? That's a way more limited concept. I mean, after all, you have only had the right to marry the person whom you love if they are of the same gender for the last 5 years, and many of us are worried that that is about to be stripped away. And if you're polyamorous and you have committed your life to more than one person, you still do not have the freedom to have that commitment legally recognized. And what about freedom from? The freedom from worrying that your life is going to be taken away by a police officer is disproportionately denied if you are a Black American. We are quite selective about who we give freedom to. And yet, for those who are privileged in some way, we continue to lift up the power and the right of the individual to ridiculous extremes. Many people will fight about this idea that they have the right to own as many guns and as much ammunition as they want, no matter the risk that it puts on innocent lives. And now it has genuinely come to absolutely unbelievable, ridiculous extremes where the right to not wear a face mask has been prioritized over stopping a deadly virus that is sweeping our country and has completely, at this point, changed life as we know it. Hyper-individualism and Borg-like collectivism are the two extremes of the continuum that we will be discussing this November, which is the continuum between healthy individualism and healthy collectivism, because we need both and they feed each other, they support each other when it is healthy, and they help us to build beloved community. Unitarian Universalist theologian James Luther Adams understood this continuum. Remember, he is the one who had been in Germany as the Nazi Party was beginning to gain power. He saw the tragic extremes of what could happen with collectivism, and he also could see the weakness of an individual in trying to fight that. And so he put a lot of energy for the rest of his life in talking about the power of what he called voluntary associations. That voluntary associations were the ones who could come together and resist evils such as fascism. He was concerned about what he saw in Unitarian churches, which he named vociferous individualism. Vociferous refers to something divisive, but specifically vociferous individualism is about a sort of go-it-alone individualism where the rights of the individual take priority over the greater good. Having seen what he had seen in Germany, he knew that we needed to have individuals who could come together voluntarily and cooperate in order to be able to make good things happen in the world and to fight evil in the world. JLA felt pulled and dissatisfied by both sides of this continuum. When he was in Germany, he saw that it was the members of the confessing church who were doing the most powerful anti-Nazi work. They were the Antifa of their day. And yet, theologically, they required everyone to fit into a very small box, a very tight mold, to where he, as a Unitarian and other free thinkers, were really not allowed in. They could become part of that church and they could do the work, but they were never going to be put into leadership positions. But then here at home, he saw the Unitarian church, which at that time was putting such an emphasis on each individual's spiritual journey that there were no conversations about what do we all have in common and how are we all going to work together. JLA determined that the right spot on that continuum for churches was rooted in the idea of covenant. That ideally a church was a voluntary association where you could bring together people with different backgrounds and different experiences, and if they had a common covenant that they agreed to, then they could expand while still maintaining their individuality. They could do the work of cooperation to do the necessary work together in the world. And this is the center covenant of this Unitarian Universalist church and Unitarian Universalism as a organized, somewhat religious movement. We have a covenant here at Live Oak. Again, we all come from different experiences, different stories, and we want even more diversity. And we can do that because we have a covenant that we all unite around. And covenants can continue to grow and change too. How are we going to be changed by everything that we have experienced the last few years and, probably the year to come? It would probably be good for us to take a look at our covenant and see if it needs some refreshing. Unitarian Universalism itself is a covenantal religion. All of the different Unitarian Universalist collectives have covenanted together to a set of 7 goals, and we call these our 7 principles. And see, here's the great thing about covenant in terms of this continuum of individualism to collectivism. The very first principle is that we will affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person. So you see, we create not so much a continuum as a circle of individuals working together to create a collective that then supports the rights and the dignity of the individualism. And our 7th principle talks about the interdependent web of existence, of which we are all a part. And so it truly, that's not accidental that the first is about the individual and the last is about the collective. It is a circle and it all works together. We cannot be a collective hive where everyone thinks alike and acts alike, because there is always a queen of the hive, and the queen for the United States and most of the West has been white supremacy. That has been what has defined the norm. And so we always have to be working to protect the individual. And there are sacrifices that we make as individuals for the greater good, for the collective. We make sacrifices here in this congregation, right? Our time, talent, and treasure, because we know that we are doing something important and we are working both for the collective that we are a part of, this church, but also for the larger community that we are located in. This thing with the masks, maybe this will be the thing where we have taken hyper-individualism so far that for many people it will become evident how ridiculous this is. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they have to experience it or have a loved one experience it, but change can happen, right? We just saw it with former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, who had been part of this collective idea that the individual right to not wear a mask should be elevated over everything else. See, it gets kind of messy, right? Where does the hyper-individualism end and the hyper-collectivism end? And he didn't wear a mask, and he got very sick with COVID, and he wound up in the hospital. And after that, he wrote a mea culpa, and I'm grateful that he did, where he pointed out, look, all you're being asked to do is wear a piece of fabric over your face, and then you won't get sick and other people won't get sick, and we can slow or even stop this terrible virus. This continuum between individualism and collectivism is not an easy one. It's not always just masks, right? Sometimes there are really hard questions, whether you are in a nation or in a congregation. How do we protect the rights of the individual while at the same time holding in tension with that the greater good? For James Luther Adams, the answer was voluntary association bound together by a covenant. What are the promises? What are the sacrifices that we as individuals are willing to make for a collective vision and a better world for a collective whole? Prayer Ballot by Reverend Luke Stevens Royer. I walk in as on pilgrimage. The altar cloths are red, white, and blue. The ushers are the women who have been running these things, who have been running everything since before I was born. I'm handed the ballot like a scroll, because the questions seem that important, ancient and modern, of what my God and country ask of me. Who? Who? For commissioner, mayor, president? Who? For District 8, Ward 7, school board? Who will do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly? I make my mark with at least a shred of hope that something good will come from this. And regardless, I remember, the world won't be destroyed entirely by this. The world won't be saved entirely by this. Marking my vote is like kneeling in prayer, because neither will accomplish anything right away, but the purpose of both is to remind me of my deepest hope for the world that I'm trying to help create. So I rise from prayer and turn in my ballot and remember the who is me and us and we the people. And again, I set to the task that is mine: justice, mercy, humble service in my small corner of the world.
Let us go out and light up the dark. Let us go out, bring joy to each heart. Let us go out, with indifference destroyed. Let us go out with joy. Let us go out and light up the dark. Let us go out, bring joy to each heart. Let us go out, with indifference destroyed. Let us go out with joy. Let us go out and light up the dark. Let us go out, bring joy to each heart. Let us go out, with indifference destroyed. Let us go out with joy. Let us go out and light up the dark. Let us go out, bring joy to each heart. Let us go out, with indifference destroyed. Let us go out with joy. Let us go out and light up the dark. Let us go out, bring joy to each heart. Let us go out, with indifference destroyed. Let us go out with joy.
Thank you so much for coming today to today's service. Thank you for bringing your individuality to help us create a collective experience of worship. This next week has a lot of questions that will or will not be answered. If you're feeling a little stressed out, you are not the only one. So this week, what I wish for you is that you remember to keep taking deep breaths, drink water, get as much sleep as you can, and perhaps most importantly, know that you are not alone, and reach out. Reach out to us on our Facebook page or through email. Send me an email, minister@liveoaqu.org. Just let me know how you're doing. On Wednesday, we are going to have a special service, and it will be advertised on our website. I and Rabbi Rebecca Reese will be doing sort of a Vespers service on Wednesday night, and you are absolutely invited to come to that. May you go forward this week and every week with courage, cheerfulness, and resolution.
Soon the day will arise when we will be together, and no longer will we live in fear. And the children will smile without wondering whether on that day thunder clouds will appear. Wait and see what a world there can be if we share, if we care, you and me. Wait and see what a world